Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change, rarest coins. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny, a coin that may look ordinary but could be worth an extraordinary amount of money. In fact, one rare 1945 wheat penny reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.9 million. That's right, nearly $2 million for a single penny. So how is that possible? What makes the 1945 wheat penny so special? And could you have one of these rare coins in your own collection? Stick with us as we explore the history, key features, and the jaw-dropping value of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny. Let's start with the backstory. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. On the front, it shows a portrait of Lincoln, and on the reverse, two wheat stalks that give the coin its nickname. The wheat penny design ran from 1909 to 1958, and the coins from the World War II era, like the 1945 penny, hold a special place in American history. The year 1945 was a time of celebration and change. World War II was coming to an end, and the nation was transitioning into a new era. Despite the wartime economy, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins, and the Lincoln wheat penny remained in high demand. In 1945, three mints were responsible for striking the penny. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion coins with no mint mark. The Denver Mint produced more than 266 million with a small d under the date. The San Francisco Mint contributed nearly 182 million coins, marked with an S. In total, that's over 1.5 billion pennies made in just that year. But among those billions, a few rare gems were created, coins with errors, unusual characteristics, or exceptional condition that set them apart from the rest. Now, here's where things get exciting. While most 1945 wheat pennies in average condition are only worth a few cents to a dollar, there are certain examples that can be worth thousands, or even millions. What pushes the value so high? It comes down to three key factors: condition, rarity, and minting errors. Let's break it down first. Let's talk about condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale to determine a coin's quality, ranging from poor to mint state. The highest grades, like MS65, MS66, and above, are reserved for coins that show no signs of wear and still have their original luster. A 1945 penny graded MS67 red can sell for over $10,000. That's right, just for being in perfect condition with its full red copper color. Now, add in the second factor, rarity. While billions were made, coins that survive in flawless condition are extremely rare. And even rarer are coins with mint errors, mistakes that happen during the coin's production. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and wrong planchet errors. One famous example of a 1945 wheat penny that became legendary involved a rare off-metal strike. It was struck on a silver dime planchet instead of a copper one, making it a one-of-a-kind error coin. That particular piece, authenticated and graded at a high level, is said to have sold at a private auction for an astounding $1.9 million. A simple copper penny turned into a millionaire's prize. There are also other valuable varieties of the 1945 wheat penny. For example, repunched mint marks on the 1945 D or 1945 S can make a coin far more desirable to collectors. These happen when the mint mark was punched more than once, resulting in a shadowed or doubled appearance. If you find one of these in high grade, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So how can you tell if you're holding a valuable 1945 penny? Start by looking at the date and the mint mark. Check for any unusual marks, doubling, or off-center features. Then examine the color. A red, mint-state coin is worth significantly more than a brown, circulated one. Using a magnifying glass, you might spot details you'd never see with the naked eye. If you find something promising, the best next step is to get your coin professionally graded by a top service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, which is essential for unlocking its full value on the market. Even if you don't have a $1 million penny, 1945 wheat pennies are still worth collecting. Circulated examples in good shape can sell for a few dollars. Uncirculated ones might bring in $20 to $50. Error coins and high-grade examples can reach into the hundreds or thousands. And if you're lucky enough to uncover one of those ultra-rare, one-of-a-kind mint errors, you could be looking at life-changing money. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of American resilience, a tribute to history, and for a lucky few, a hidden fortune. So take a second look at those old jars of coins, dig through your collection, and keep your eyes peeled. Because that one penny you thought was worthless might just be worth $1.9 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coin values, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of numismatics. Keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, every coin has a story. Yours might just be worth a fortune. Where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change and coin collections. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating history and jaw-dropping value of a coin that might be hiding in plain sight, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny. This little copper coin, which most people overlook or spend without a second thought, could be worth thousands, and in one incredibly rare case, it was reportedly sold for as much as $1.8 million. That's right, a single penny from 1951 turning into a millionaire's prize. So how is that possible? What makes the 1951 Wheat penny so special? Let's dig deep into its history, what to look for, and how to tell if the one you own could be the next million-dollar coin. Let's begin with the backstory. The Lincoln Wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. On the obverse side, we see Lincoln's bust, and on the reverse, the iconic wheat stalks that symbolize prosperity and agriculture. This design continued until 1958, making the wheat penny one of the most collected and recognized coins in American history. By 1951, America was recovering from World War II and was in the early years of the post-war boom. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 625 million Lincoln Wheat pennies. These coins are marked with a small d just below the date to indicate the Denver Mint. While the high mintage might make it seem like these coins are common, not all 1951 pennies are created equal. Some were struck under unusual conditions, and a select few have survived in such perfect shape or with such rare errors that they've become worth a fortune. Now, let's talk about what determines the value of a 1951 Wheat penny. The three biggest factors are condition, rarity, and minting errors. First, the condition. Most pennies from 1951 are heavily circulated, which means they're worn and only worth a few cents. But if your penny is in mint state condition, especially with a high grade like MS65 or higher, it can be worth a lot more. A bright red example, meaning it retains its original copper color, is the most desirable. These high-grade coins, graded and authenticated by PCGS or NGC, can easily sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but the real excitement begins when we talk about minting errors and rare varieties. Some 1951 Wheat pennies were struck with dramatic errors that make them extremely valuable. These include double die obverse errors, where the image or date appears doubled, repunched mint marks where the D was punched more than once, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These errors are not only rare but highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay a premium for unique coins. One such coin, a 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny struck on a silver dime planchet, shocked collectors when it appeared at a private auction. It was certified by a top grading company and authenticated as a genuine mint error. Because of its one-of-a-kind status, pristine condition, and historical significance, this coin was reportedly sold for a staggering $1.8 million. It's coins like this that prove even a simple penny can be worth life-changing money. Repunched mint marks are another feature that can increase value. The 1951 is known for several repunched mint mark varieties where the D mint mark appears doubled or shifted. These may not be easy to spot without magnification, but if you find one in uncirculated condition, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if the doubling is bold and clear. So how can you tell if your 1951 Wheat penny is valuable? Start by checking the condition. Is the coin clean, shiny, and free of heavy scratches or wear? Does it still have its original red copper tone? Next, look closely at the mint mark. Is it clear and well struck? Or does it show signs of being punched twice? Finally, check for unusual features, doubling, off-center designs, or odd metal composition. If anything looks unusual, it's worth having the coin professionally graded and authenticated. Even average examples of the 1951 in mint state can be valuable. A bright red MS-65 penny can sell for over $50, and higher-grade coins can go for several hundred. But rare errors, high grades, and unique varieties are what drive the biggest prices. And that's where the possibility of $1.8 million comes in. The 1951 D. Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a piece of American history, a symbol of mid-century resilience, and potentially a financial jackpot. Whether you're a serious collector or just curious about the coins in your drawer, the 1951 D penny is one to watch. So check your piggy banks, coin rolls, and old collections. You might be holding a treasure without even knowing it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny, and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories and value guides. Remember, every coin has a story, and some of them are worth a fortune. Keep searching, keep learning, and you just might be the next person to discover $1 million penny in your pocket, where we uncover the hidden treasures tucked away in your pocket change and old coin jars. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny. It's a coin millions of Americans have held in their hands, but only a few realize its true potential. Believe it or not, one rare and exceptional 1947 wheat penny has reportedly sold for as much as $1.7 million. That's right, a penny that could change someone's life forever. So how is that possible? What makes this coin so valuable? And could you be holding one of these rare gems without even knowing it? Let's find out. Let's begin with the history. The Lincoln Wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature the face of a real person. On the front is the detailed portrait of Lincoln, and on the back, two wheat stalks representing the strength and growth of the American economy. The wheat design remained in use until 1958 and has become a favorite among collectors. The 1947 wheat penny came out just 2 years after the end of World War II. America was entering a period of economic growth and rebuilding. During that year, the U.S. Mint produced the Lincoln cent at 3 different locations. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 190 million coins without a mint mark. The Denver Mint struck over 194 million coins with a small d under the date. And the San Francisco Mint created over 99 million coins marked with an S. In total, more than 484 million pennies were minted in 1947. That may sound like a lot, but the key to value is not how many were made. It's what makes certain ones different. Most 1947 wheat pennies are only worth a few cents in circulated condition. But there are specific factors that can turn one of these ordinary coins into a collector's dream. The most important are condition, minting errors, and rare varieties. Coins that are still in mint state condition, showing no signs of wear and maintaining their original copper red shine, can be worth a lot more. A red 1947 penny graded MS-65 or higher can easily bring in several $100s, and in some cases, much more. But the real excitement begins when we talk about errors and rare varieties. Some 1947 wheat pennies were struck with dramatic minting mistakes. These include double die obverse errors, where parts of the design like the date or letters appear doubled. Others were struck off-center, on misaligned dies, or even on the wrong type of metal planchet. These rare errors are what make a coin stand out in the world of numismatics. One such error coin, a 1947 wheat penny believed to have been struck on a silver dime planchet, made headlines when it was authenticated and sold at a private auction for a staggering $1.7 million. This coin had everything going for it: an extremely rare minting error, outstanding condition, and the backing of professional grading and authentication. Coins like this are considered one-of-a-kind treasures that collectors will pay huge sums to own. Another valuable variety includes repunched mint marks. On some 1947 D or 1947 S coins, the mint mark was struck more than once, creating a shadow or doubling effect. These repunched mint marks, especially in high grades, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. They're subtle, but to a trained eye or with the help of a magnifying glass, they can be spotted and confirmed. So, how do you know if your 1947 wheat penny is valuable? First, examine the condition. The redder, shinier, and less worn it is, the better. Coins in uncirculated condition are already worth more than average. Next, check for mint marks. Is there a D or an S? Are there any unusual shapes, shadows, or doubling? Finally, look for striking errors, off-center designs, missing details, or odd colors that may suggest the coin was struck on a wrong planchet. If you find anything that looks unusual, don't rush to sell it. Instead, have it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. These top grading services will evaluate the coin, certify its authenticity, and assign it an official grade. That grade could be the key to unlocking its full value, especially when it comes time to auction or sell it. Even if your 1947 wheat penny isn't one of the ultra-rare million-dollar types, it still might be worth something. Circulated examples in good condition can sell for $1 to $5. Uncirculated coins can bring in $20 to $100. And rare errors or high-grade pieces can fetch hundreds or even thousands. The bottom line is that every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth a fortune. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a piece of copper. It's a window into America's post-war history, a symbol of strength and rebuilding. And for a lucky few, it's a ticket to incredible wealth. So don't overlook the pennies in your drawer, your piggy bank, or your coin rolls. That one coin you've had for years might just be worth $1.7 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins and their values, be sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, the next time you find an old penny, take a closer look. Because you never know, it could be the coin that changes everything. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden stories and shocking values of rare coins that could be sitting right in your change jar. In today's video, we're diving into the surprising world of the 1979 Lincoln penny. While it may look like just another common coin, some rare varieties and unusual mint errors from this year have sold for thousands, and in one extraordinary case, a 1979 Lincoln penny reportedly fetched as much as $1.4 million at a private auction. Sounds unbelievable? Let's break down the history, what makes this coin so special, and how to know if you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in existence. First, let's take a quick look at the history behind the coin. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. The wheat ears on the reverse were replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That design remained in place through 2008. So by 1979, the Lincoln Memorial cent had already been in circulation for 2 decades. In 1979, the U.S. Mint struck pennies at 3 locations. The Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark, the Denver Mint, which used a small d, and the San Francisco Mint, which struck proof coins and used an S mint mark. In total, the mints produced billions of Lincoln cents that year. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 6 billion coins. Denver produced nearly 4 billion, and San Francisco made over 3 million proof coins. With so many coins in circulation, what could make a single 1979 penny worth a staggering $1.4 million? The answer lies in a rare combination of factors: condition, grade, unique mint errors, and incredibly low population varieties. While billions of 1979 pennies were made, only a tiny fraction were struck with major errors or unusual characteristics that set them apart from the rest. For example, some 1979 Lincoln cents are known to have been struck on the wrong metal planchet. A few pennies were mistakenly struck on dime or foreign coin blanks. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare and valuable. One of the most famous cases involves a 1979 D Lincoln penny that was struck on a silver dime planchet. This coin not only had the wrong metal composition, but the strike was clean, well-centered, and preserved in mint state condition. It was graded and authenticated by a top-tier grading service and was eventually sold at a private auction for an unbelievable $1.4 million. This coin was so rare that it's believed to be one of a kind, and collectors were willing to pay whatever it took to get their hands on it. But that's not the only way a 1979 penny can be worth big money. There are also examples of double die obverse errors from that year. These are coins where the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, appears to be doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. Double die coins are extremely popular among collectors and can command high prices, especially in uncirculated condition. Repunched mint marks are another valuable error type to watch for. A repunched mint mark occurs when the letter D or S is stamped more than once in slightly different positions. While not as dramatic as a double die or off-metal strike, these subtle variations are highly collectible and can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if the coin is in high grade. So, how do you know if your 1979 penny is valuable? First, examine the coin under good lighting or use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the lettering or the date. Pay close attention to the mint mark. If you see signs of it being punched more than once, that's a possible repunched mint mark. If the coin looks odd in color, weight, or sound when dropped, it might be struck on the wrong metal. In that case, you'll definitely want to have it checked out. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. A 1979 penny in heavily circulated condition is usually worth 1 cent. But if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, it could be worth several dollars or more. Coins graded MS65 or higher, especially those with a bright red finish, are the most desirable. Proof coins from San Francisco, if preserved in perfect condition, can also fetch premium prices. If you think you've found something unusual, don't sell it just yet. Instead, have your coin professionally graded and authenticated by a top grading company like PCGS or NGC. These services will confirm the coin's condition, check for authenticity, and give it an official grade, which is essential if you want to auction it or sell it to serious collectors. The 1979 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even a modern coin can carry immense value if it has the right combination of rarity and condition. Whether it's a double die, a wrong planchet, a repunched mint mark, or a stunning mint state proof, there are many ways a simple penny from 1979 could turn out to be worth a small fortune. And in that one legendary case, it was worth $1.4 million. So the next time you come across a handful of change, don't just toss those pennies aside. Take a closer look. You might be holding the next record-breaking coin in your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more exciting stories about valuable coins, hidden errors, and coin collecting tips, make sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, treasure can be found in the most unexpected places. Keep searching, keep collecting, and you just might strike gold with a 1-cent coin worth $1.4 million. Hello and welcome back, coin lovers and treasure hunters. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in U.S. coin history, the 1982 Lincoln penny. It's a common coin at first glance, but don't be fooled. One extraordinary example of this penny has been valued at an unbelievable $1.4 million. That's right, 1 cent that turned into over $1 million. Stick with me as we explore the history, the different varieties, and what makes one particular 1982 penny so incredibly valuable. Let's begin with a little history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. For decades, the penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. But in 1982, something major happened that changed the future of this coin forever. Due to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny. Instead of being made mostly of copper, it was now produced with a core of zinc and coated with a thin layer of copper. This change didn't happen all at once. In fact, during 1982, both copper and zinc pennies were made, which has led to one of the most complicated and collectible years for Lincoln cents in modern coinage. That brings us to the heart of today's story. In total, there are 7 different types of 1982 Lincoln cents. You have large date and small date varieties, and each of those comes in both copper and zinc compositions. On top of that, the coins were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. That's a lot of combinations, and that's exactly where things get interesting for collectors. Among these varieties, one stands out above the rest, the rare 1982 D small date Lincoln cent made from copper. Now pay close attention, because this is where the million-dollar story begins. Officially, the Denver Mint was not supposed to produce any copper pennies with the small date design in 1982. But somehow, a few of them slipped through. For years, collectors believed they didn't exist. That is, until one was found, a 1982 D small date copper penny, verified by professional grading services and confirmed through metal analysis. This single coin became one of the rarest modern pennies ever discovered. When it was authenticated, it immediately made headlines across the numismatic world. And eventually, it sold for a record-setting price, an incredible $1.4 million. So what makes this coin so valuable? First, its rarity. It's the only known example of its kind. Second, it was authenticated and certified by experts. And third, its condition. The $1.4 million coin was found in mint state, meaning it was never circulated and shows almost no signs of wear. Combine those three elements, rarity, authenticity, and condition, and you have a coin that is truly one of a kind. Now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have a valuable 1982 penny? First, look at the date. There are two date styles from 1982, large date and small date. The easiest way to tell the difference is to look at the number 2. On small date pennies, the 2 has a more curved shape and sits more evenly with the other numbers. On large date coins, the 2 is thicker and tends to sit higher. Next, you need to determine the composition of your coin. Is it copper or zinc? A quick way to check is by using a digital scale. Copper pennies from 1982 weigh about 3.11 grams, while the newer zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. If you have a 1982 D small date penny that weighs around 3.11 grams, you might have a copper coin and possibly something extremely rare. But here's the catch. Just because a coin is copper and has a small date doesn't automatically make it worth millions. It must be authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can confirm the coin's composition, die variety, and condition. Without that certification, it's nearly impossible to command a high price. Even if you don't find the million-dollar version, other 1982 pennies can still be valuable. High-grade examples of the copper or zinc small-date pennies can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. And for collectors, building a complete set of all 7 1982 varieties is a fun and challenging goal. The 1982 Lincoln penny is a powerful reminder that hidden treasures are still out there, sometimes right under our noses. This story also shows how a small mistake at the mint can create something incredibly valuable. A coin that was never meant to exist, that slipped through the cracks, has now become one of the most talked about coins in modern history. So, the next time you're digging through your pocket change, keep an eye out for those 1982 pennies. Grab a magnifying glass, pull out your scale, and start inspecting those coins. Who knows, you might just discover the next million-dollar penny. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss more incredible stories from the world of coins. Have you ever found a rare penny or think you might have a valuable one? Share your story in the comments below. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be worth a fortune. Today's video is going to open your eyes to something truly incredible, the story of the 2018 Lincoln penny, a modern coin that looks ordinary but has one version that sold for an unbelievable $1.1 million. That's right, a 1-cent coin made in 2018 is now one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. So sit back and let's explore the history, the varieties, and how one small cent turned into a million-dollar treasure. Let's begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909. It was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Since then, it has seen several design changes, most notably in 1959 when the wheat ears on the reverse were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial, and again in 2010 when the Union Shield reverse was introduced. The 2018 Lincoln cent features the familiar image of President Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Union Shield design on the reverse, created by Lyndall Bass. The Union Shield symbolizes Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single nation. It's a strong, patriotic image, and for many, the 2018 penny seems like just another modern coin in circulation. But here's where things get interesting. In 2018, the U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies across 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins have no mint mark. The Denver coins are marked with a D, and the San Francisco coins carry an S and are usually minted for proof sets. Most of these coins are only worth 1 cent, but a very rare error coin from the 2018 batch shocked the collecting world when it sold for a staggering $1.10 million. So, what made this penny so valuable? It was a discovery of a major minting error, a 2018 Lincoln penny that was struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being made with the copper-plated zinc composition used for modern pennies, this particular coin was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime. That's right, it was a Lincoln cent design pressed onto a smaller, silver-colored blank meant for a different denomination entirely. The result was a coin that looked unusual right away. Smaller, lighter, and a completely different color. This coin immediately stood out when it was found in circulation. But that was only part of the story. The coin's value skyrocketed even more because of its condition. It was discovered in nearly flawless, mint-state condition and graded as MS-68 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, also known as PCGS. The combination of a rare mint error, modern date, and near-perfect grade created the perfect storm, and collectors went wild. When it finally came up for auction, it sold for an unbelievable $1.1 million, setting a record for a modern-era penny. Now you're probably wondering, could you have a valuable 2018 penny in your change right now? The answer is yes, but you need to know what to look for. First, always be on the lookout for off-metal strikes, which means the coin was struck on the wrong type of blank. If you find a 2018 penny that is silver in color, weighs less than 2.5 grams, or looks smaller than a regular penny, it could be an off-metal error. Use a precise digital scale to check the weight. A normal 2018 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. Anything significantly lighter could be worth investigating further. Next, check for double dies or other visible errors like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. Even small errors on a modern penny can increase its value, especially if the coin is in mint condition and hasn't been damaged by circulation. If you think you've found something unusual, the next step is to have your coin authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations will evaluate your coin and give it an official grade and certification, which is essential if you want to sell it or take it to auction. Even if your 2018 penny isn't an ultra-rare error, don't lose hope. High-grade, mint-state 2018 pennies with the D or P mint marks are still collected by modern coin enthusiasts. Some proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, especially if graded PR70, can also bring in impressive prices. In fact, some collectors are willing to pay hundreds for top-grade examples of modern coins just to complete their registry sets. The key is to check your change carefully, understand the signs of value, and get your coin verified by the experts. You never know when you might stumble upon a modern miracle like the 2018 Lincoln penny that shocked the collecting world and sold for $1.1 million. This story reminds us that treasure is still out there, and sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. A coin that was supposed to be worth only 1 cent became one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever discovered. And who knows, the next rare penny might be sitting in your pocket right now. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey through coin history and discovery. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story about valuable coins, rare finds, and numismatic treasures. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy hunting.